A process going on. When me and the brothers go out and we promote the state of mental, and I think to myself, I said, we were out today, and I think to myself, and I said, you know what, in anything I do, I always look for something greater to come out of it. I look for a greater change in everything I do. I don't do things because to advocate, doctrines or teachings or things for myself. The things I always do in the pursuit of teaching or explaining something is always with the evolution in mind of my people, right? And what's next? I said to an individual, I said to a young guy, he said, yeah, I hear about all these teachers in the conscious community, your Phil Valentines and your Bobby Hemmitts and all that. No disrespect to those guys, and all the guys that teach and say what they say and drop knowledge. And he said, yeah, because for a minute he thought, we were saying the same things that in the state of mental that Phil Valentine and the guys who teach the conscious in the conscious circle, that we were teaching the same things or saying the same things. And I told him no. I said because I said that after somebody drops knowledge to you, after somebody teaches you something, after someone advocates something to you, as they quote unquote tell you the truth, something's supposed to precede that. Something's supposed to happen after that, right? I got into this conversation with people about the Illuminati and Tupac, right? And somebody said, yeah, Tupac had this revolutionary mind, and, he was a revolutionary, and Tupac, and Tupac this and Tupac that, and he was a panther, and he was a revolutionary, and he was the mind, the rebel spirit of Tupac, right? And I said, we must have been looking at two different Tupacs, right? Now, this is not to, take shots at Tupac, but we got to be honest with ourselves and what we see and the type of impact that people make in the world on ourselves. We have to be impartial about that, because that's going to go into shaping us and evolving us as a people. We have to be honest about the impact that people make on our lives on a whole. See, because black people, they tend to over-dramatize and make things bigger than what they are, or make people bigger than who they are or what they are in the evolution of our people, right? I said that, I said it's one thing to say you like Tupac's music and, you liked all the, the personality of Tupac. But, to turn Tupac into a big revolutionary hero and things like that, just because he sprouted some things about the secret societies and the Illuminati and all this, that, and the third. And I'm like, what preceded that? What preceded that? What changed in our people other than saying, oh, yeah, we know. Yeah, now we know. Okay, now you know, now what? What's after that? How is that going to change your life? How is that going to advance you or evolve your way of thinking and literally change your life? You know about a secret group of white men who rule the world, and, you know about them, and that's it. You're not going to stop sending your children to their schools. You're not going to stop smoking their weed. You're not going to stop drinking liquor. You're not going to stop doing the things. You ain't going to stop listening to ignorant hip-hop. You understand? You're going to still go to work. You're going to still go to your job. You're not going to try to come together with your people and try and become independent and do anything. You're not going to do that. So what's the sense in knowing something if you're not going to do anything about it? If you're not going to try to change your lives for the better, if it's not going to cause an evolution in you. See, the black race, that's where our people, the so-called black race, are dense at. Right? They're dense in that mindset. They'll sit up here and they'll go, yeah, they get their, and they like to hear information to get their minds blown, right? Just so they can go, oh wow, because everything with the black man and black woman of today is based on hysteria and excitement, and it's nothing, sensationalism. That's the word I was looking for. They, once you get your next high, your mental high, then it's back to the same way of doing things. Tupac blew minds. Yeah, but the things he said. But did he change lives? Did he evolve a people? Did he raise the people up? Did he change the people's way of life? Right? That's important. People who are in it for the long haul, who are causing an evolution, who are bringing about an evolution that are in your people, in your next generation, in your future generation. Right? There was a brother on there talked about how he would teach or develop, have his child like Tupac and like Dr. York. The intelligence of Dr. York and the rebel spirit of Tupac. And I'm like, that's cool. Right? However, if you're not changing, if your son looks at you or your daughter looks at you and they see that you're the same person that begat them, then that heavily weighs on them, who they become. If they can't look to you and see where these men's lives changed you and how it's changed your life and caused an evolution in you, then it's no sense in talking about this. Black people are famous for lip service. Yeah, that was deep, brother. You right, brother. Right, brother. But there's no action there. True power, like I said, black people were shouting black power for the longest. But there, I see no black power. I see no power in our people. I see a whole bunch of people with rhetoric and talk, but no action to precede that. No change in the people's lives. True power denotes change and transformation. That's what true power denotes. If there's no change and no transformation, if people are not stopping doing what they're doing, if you still got the black man out here drinking liquor, smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, not taking care of his children, doing still up in the church, still with the God and the devil nonsense, still accepting the philosophies of the white man and the other races, still race mixing, still laying up with other races. If or the black woman doing the same thing, the black woman still perming her hair, still don't like how she naturally looks, trying to look like the white woman or other races of women. She's sewing dead hair into her head. If that's what you're talking about, when you got knowledge and you still engage in these things, then what good was telling you anything? Where did the evolution take place at? It's not about just telling you so you would know. You might as well not have known anything. Nobody might as well not have told you anything for what it did in your life. It didn't change anything. It just spooked you out. It just blew your mind. It didn't bring about an evolution. It didn't bring about a change in you. Black people love to not have. Black people love any teaching that doesn't require change. Anything that requires change means there has to be discipline in it. That means that they have to abstain from something in order to evolve. Black people will never evolve without discipline, without the willingness to change themselves, to open themselves up. Some people are not open to change, so there is no evolution for them. These people are no different than the black people in the ghetto and the hoods who smoking weed all day and being zeros. You no different. You so-called conscious and all you other people, because you're not advocating anything. Once you tell people something that's supposed to be life-changing, mind-altering, then you're supposed to proceed with something else. You're supposed to bring something else to the table so that they can better their lives, so they can change their lives. You're supposed to implement another program. Since you're saying that this program is tainted, since you're saying that the government, the secret societies, or whoever got their hand all over it, what are you implementing in its place? What are you doing to implement a evolution in the people? Right? When Honorable Elijah Muhammad and them called the white man the devil and all this other stuff, and they was going with that, he implemented a change for the better in the lives of the people. He implemented a diet. He implemented a way of life. Though, it wasn't, a lot of people don't agree with it, the whole Islamic thing now, but it was a positive step in the right direction. There was always work to be done. There was always stages of evolution to be going through, right? So what was the point in advocating a change, right? What was the point in advocating a change if it's not going to change you for the better? A lot of people take shots at me and want to curse me out and call me names or whatnot and be negative. I'm like, well, if you're going to curse me out and call me and be negative toward what my program and what I'm doing in the state of Mentel, what are you advocating? You understand? This is why evolution has to take place within the black race. We have to go from a bunch of people in the shadows, being black people, being people in darkness and ignorance who do things like that, who stand on the sidelines and try to tear down anything that's progressive. And we have to go from doing that to an intelligent new people, a bright people, a people who take things, rationalizes it, and ingest it in order to make change for the better. Teaching our people that we black, right, which came from the white man. Teaching our people that we African, again, which came from the white man. Teaching our people that we, that we are Islam and all this other stuff, again, which came from the white man. Teaching our people that we come from any of these things, right, is not helping our people. It's not bringing an evolution to our people, because we took all these titles on. We took on black, we took on the African, we took on the Islam, we took on the Moor, we took on all these things, and it's not changing our people's condition. We took on the Israelite, we took on all these things, and it's changed nothing in our people at all. Right? The only change that was being made for the positive was what Elijah Muhammad was doing when he was alive, and what Dr. York was doing, and trying to speed up the intelligence and raise the minds of the people. But it's clear, and it's evident that black people like the state that they in, because this state means this state of blackness and this state of Africanism and waiting on the white man to affect the change in your life, waiting on him to alter the circumstances in this world, because that's what black people are waiting around for. They're waiting around for white people to alter or change their circumstances in life. That's what they're waiting around for, right? That's what they're waiting around for to happen, right? And it's not going to happen for the better. If a people are focusing on making themselves better, then the last thing they're going to be focused on is making your life better. The last thing they're going to be focused on is making your life better. They're going to think of themselves first, and that's all the white man has ever done, or any of the other races. All they do is they think of themselves. So-called, quote-unquote, black people don't think about themselves. They think about everybody else and why everybody else is not looking out for them. They expect somebody to educate their children. They expect somebody to treat them when they get shot or sick or whatever, stabbed, or they expect somebody to protect them when or take their spouses to court when they're not paying child support. They expect them when to ride on all these things in this system, yet they still want to talk this black pride African crap. They still want to talk this nonsense. They want to be proud for nothing. You understand? They want to be proud in the ignorance, right? They want to exist as black versions of the white man and the rest of the races. They want to exist as black versions, right? And that's what happened. That's what happened when we took these names from these people. When we took their English slave names, we took the names of their families, and we still wearing them today. A lot of our people still wearing them. We not in the state of intel. We getting rid of them. But a lot of you are still wearing their names. So how do you take a people like that seriously? How do you take people like this seriously? How do your children take you seriously? They watch you. As they're getting smarter, they're getting more intelligent. They're watching your actions and your work and your ways and your works. And they see that you're not advocating any change in your own life. Right? So what happens? A line is divided. That's the reason why a lot of your children end up statistics, shot down the street, selling drugs, in jail, right? Because you advocated no better way of life for them. You advocated no better way of life for them. You didn't want to put the energy or the time or the effort or responsibility into bringing about an evolution in yourself and your people. You didn't want to support that. You wanted to be lazy and support the stupidity, right? So therefore, your children went out and found their own brand of stupidity. They went to the gangs, right? They went to the gangs. They went to the crack selling, the drug selling. They went to shooting each other down. They went to a state of degeneracy, devolving, instead of going to a state of evolution. They should have been able to see that in you, but they couldn't see it in you because you did nothing. You sat there under that black title, under that African title, under those rhetorical ways of thinking because you refused to think for yourself. You sat here and swallowed all this garbage in society And you still continue to swallow it. Metaphysics, Egyptology, all the spirituality. You still continue to swallow this garbage in society. And it's not bringing about a change in our people. So people who truly want change, who are not egotistical about it, who truly want change, they'll back up and say, you know what? This is not working for us. You know, I want to bring about a real change in my people. How many people have a supreme love for the evolution of the people that they're willing to put aside their egos and bring this about and make this happen? Not many. Not many. Many just want to step here and cry and moan about racism, police brutality, that ain't right, this, that, and the third. We American citizens. They want to cry about all these things, and they want somebody to respect them, right? But you don't have any respect for yourselves. You disrespect each other. You have no regard for your own lives, right? You don't value each other as a people. So why should people outside your race value you? Why should they think twice about blowing your kids away, whether it's the police, whether it's whoever, some racist down south? Why should they think twice about blowing your children away when you're not advocating a better life for them? When you're not instituting an evolutionary mindset towards your children? When you're not growing or trying to raise them into rational people? You're talking about black nationalism. You need to be talking about bright rationalism, meaning to denote a thinking people. People who are reasoning without all the rhetoric and all the emotion. You need to be advocating that. That is the true evolution of our people. That's where the true evolution lies in the rays of our people as receivers of higher intelligence. Because intelligence and the willingness to change and advance is what's going to make our people's lives better. See, the change has been waiting on our people. The change has been waiting on our people. We could have been made a change, but a lot of our people, as you see it, and as we seeing it now, as we going out, and we telling our people the answer has arrived for the evolution of the black race, and that is mentellect to raise us into a bright race of people, to take us out of that whole black mindset, that whole black and white dualistic, individualistic mindset. Like I said, we saying that something has arrived to bring us together collectively as one. A lot of our people are not for it. They're not for it. They don't trust it. They think, what's this brother trying to advocate? Yeah, that sound good, and yeah, good luck, and that sound good. That's the mentality of the damn black man. But then when somebody shoots your kids down, when somebody beats your kids half to death or beats them to death, or something happens to you, then you want to cry racism. Why is this happening? I can't believe this. We all supposed to be past racism, and or whatever the case may be. You start reacting. You don't act when there is no chaos and no crisis. You start reacting when chaos and crisis takes place. You don't start thinking for the future, for the evolution of your people. You don't see your children, when, you have to run out to the hospitals, you have to run to doctors that don't look like you, and you got to worry about whether they using your parts of your organs or whatever, telling you one thing and deceptively using your DNA to do something else or whatever. They're giving you drugs, just testing things like. You don't know any of these things because why? Nobody's advocating your children going to school to be doctors. You don't give a damn about what happens to your kids. You don't care if they're getting educated. You just send them to school for 8 hours under the authority of these people who don't look like you to educate them, and your children come out illiterate. You sacrifice your children to the beast every day, and then you think it's supposed to be a better life for you. You expect things to be better. Or now y'all don't even expect things to be better or change. You just trying to get through life, enjoy your little trivial wants and pursuits, your sex, your drugs, your basketball games, or whatever the hell you do. Getting your hair done, laying up with some Negro or laying up with some Negress or whatever y'all doing. Popping Molly, smoking blunts. That's all y'all care about. Right? Now, some of the people, this is going to fall on deaf ears for the people who are not interested in this type of talk. It's going to fall on deaf ears, and it's supposed to. It's supposed to fall on 2/3 of our people's deaf ears. But for those of you who this resonates with, now I always say this because we're not out here to convert anybody in the state of mental. We're not out here trying to convert the minds of our people through mental. We're not trying to push anything on the people. This is only for the people who are dissatisfied, who are tired, who are wanting this evolution, who want to come out of the black race, who want to come out of that African thing, who want to give back these things and want something better. You understand? Who want something better for their ascendants. That's who this is for. So this evolution has to take place. We have to go from being black people, people in darkness and ignorance, because that's what was meant when they called us, when the white man called us black people. We have to go from those people in ignorance and darkness to these people in light, to these people in intelligence, in that state of supremacy. Because in that state of supremacy, there is no opposite. There is no opposite to bright. But there is always going to be an opposite to black, which is white. And you'll always be at the bottom of that. Well, we have to go away from that whole lie, that idea that we just started off somewhere in Africa when our people were all over the planet. We got to go from that lie that we Africans, and like that title stuck to us because of our DNA, when in fact these people thought that name up and gave it to us. We got to get away from that. We got to think beyond these people. We have to think beyond their philosophies, beyond their ideologies that we sit up here and act like they dropped out of the sky and that they just so on point and that they just know us just so well. You actually have black people, so-called black people, brown people sitting up here looking at their skin saying it's black. Like I said, the minds of our people are going. You got black women putting weaving hair into their head from other races of people, sewing hair into their head, perming their hair, making themselves sick, giving themselves diseases, trying to look like other people, and they don't give a damn. That's a mental illness, right? You got black men walking around tattooed up, taking drugs and everything else, and riding skateboards at 40 and 50 years old on skateboards. You already know who they're trying to emulate. That's a sick mentality. I said the problem with our people is a mental problem. It is not a financial problem. That's why I've been screaming all day. I said it's not a financial problem. It is not an educational problem or a miseducational situation. It's not a racial problem. See, because black people look to always outsource their problems. What do I mean by that? It's always outside of us. It's never our problem. It's never we the reason why things are messed up. It's never that. It's always the white man. It's always his miseducation. It's always we ain't got no money. We ain't got no jobs. We need some housing. We need this. We need that. It's always an outsource of your problems. It's never you. It's never you that's the problem. It's never you that, that because of your behavior and how you act that things are not getting better. It's God's problem, Jesus' problem. It's somebody else's problem. You always outsourcing your problems to somebody. It's never you. Your behavior never has to be. You never have to be responsible for your behavior. Because if you had to be responsible for your behavior, if you didn't have the white man to blame, if you didn't have God to blame, the devil to blame, Jesus to blame, if you didn't have no health care, no job, if you didn't have anything to blame or anybody to lean on, then you would have to be responsible for yourself, and you would be responsible for the change, and y'all don't want that because that denotes discipline. And change cannot come without discipline, right? I don't care how much rhetoric you Negroes shout, it don't matter. That's why when I hear these Negroes talking about black African power, Ogawa, whatever the hell you Negroes talking about, I turn off, I tune off. I don't hear you. You just fade out. It sounds like nonsense. It all sounds the same because I don't see any action preceding that. When we talk about mental, like in the state of mental, the action precedes that. We out in the streets teaching our people. We out promoting conferences. We out doing radio broadcasts. We out promoting our beverages, doing what we doing to promote our small businesses. Though we are small and we starting out, like I said, we out putting in the work. So that work will grow. We're being active. That's the evolution. That's the power. You talking about power. True power comes when people are making movements. Where work is being done in the name of what you're advocating. If no work is being done in what you're advocating, if you just talking and standing around and running your mouth, you ain't out here doing no radio broadcast. You ain't out here in the streets doing grassroots, talking to the people and whatnot. If you're not out here doing classes trying to raise the minds of the people, then you're not doing nothing. Just sitting up here doing some class and you charging people $25 or $30 to hear you sit up here and tell lies and make up stuff. and rewash a whole bunch of white theories. That's not helping our people. You understand? That's not helping our people. What's going to help our people is a mental evolution. And the only mental evolution is coming outside of this atmosphere. It's coming outside from our ascendants in. You understand? Within us, making contact with us, that alignment. That's the only thing that's going to bring about an evolution in our people. It's going to take us from that black mentality, that African mindset, and all that garbage that the white man told us we was, and raise us to this new level of ultra standing, greater knowledge, greater comprehension. That's what's going to raise us in this day and time. That's what's going to change the lives of our people. And I said Mentellect has come to do that for our people. It's being sent from our ascendants, the Amen beings, our bloodline ascendants, the true ones, the true supreme beings that created this planet. Right? The true supreme beings, the supreme ones, the men and women that created this planet, our ascendants, our children, so-called black man and black woman. Your progeny is the salvation of your life, your children. That's why they go so hard in trying to destroy your children. The beast, he goes so hard in trying to destroy your children with ignorant hip-hop, right, that you allow your children to listen to. He goes so hard with ignorant hip-hop. He goes so hard with Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne, and all kind of stupid hip-hop. He goes hard with drugs in your neighborhood. He goes hard with weed in your neighborhood. That's not even weed no more. He goes hard with alcohol. He goes hard with, these stupid fashion styles with the black man walking around with his pants hanging off his behind and whatnot, showing his drawers, can't even damn walk. Right? They go hard with same-sex, this same-sex nonsense. They go hard with all of these philosophies. They go hard with damn video games. With everything, they go hard. Just to keep you, or just to corrupt your progeny, your ascendants, your future seed, because they know, even before you do, that the true salvation of your lives, of your freedom, is your children. They know that. The children are the future. They are the ascendants. They are the supreme beings, who religion refers to as gods. Those are future people. Those are your ascendants. They're not the ascendants of the white man and the rest of these other people, the rest of the human race. They are your ascendants, the Amen genetic, the Amen ascendants, the Amen race. Those who came down here from their world into this world after creating this world, planting a seed here for that seed to grow. And we're supposed to be in a stage of growth right now until we fell out of alignment or alignmental procession or reception. We fell out of alignmental reception, we fell out of our alignmental reception to our ascendants, to our children, our great-great-grandchildren. I said that the pure knowledge, the pure intelligence is forward, not back. The pure knowledge, the pure intelligence is forward, not back. We have to align ourselves with the future, with our ascendants, with our children, our grandchildren. We have to produce a smarter genetic, a smarter children, a smarter race of people, an intelligent race, an elect race, a mentellectual community, as we refer to it in the state of Mentel, the mentellectual community. Those who are mentally elect, those who are mentally chosen, right? The mentellectuals, the mentalists, the mentalians, those who are mentally in tune, who are receiving frequency at a higher speed, at a faster rate, to speed them up and start them to working in a form of transformation, in a state of evolution, because that denotes change, not rhetorical talk, not beating on some drums and talking about we African and walking around with some juju bead, whatever the hell, some puka shell or whatever, walking around with some big ass ankhs on. Some copper ankhs talking about I'm receiving the light because I'm Ray and I'm Amen and I'm Ray and Amen and whatever else. No, that's not an evolution. That's a bunch of rhetoric. You bringing over the black rhetoric from the Africans talk instead of actually putting in work to raise this intelligence of these people, to raise an intelligent children, to produce an intelligent seed, to change yourself. That's what we advocate in the state of Mentel. An evolution in the people. And you have simple-minded Negroes who are against that evolution, Why? Because they still want you in the circle. They still want you in the circle of madness. Still recycling and recycling the white man's philosophies and putting blackface on it, calling yourself Africans, calling yourself black, still calling yourself all these old names, still trying to follow these old philosophies and doctrines, right? When the evolution is supposed to be taking place in our people. The mental evolution is supposed to be taking place in our people, right? That mental evolution is supposed to bring about a transformation, right? Because once we accept the truth, the logical truth, not the truth as not my truth, not your truth. There's no my truth and your truth. There is the truth based on logic. It is impartial truth. Logical truth is impartial truth and the only truth that will bring about the evolution of our people. That's intellect. It's not my truth. It is the truth in the evolution of our people, that we have to make a change, that we have to transform ourselves, that we have to say goodbye to old things. We have to make that decision to say goodbye to old things. Now, I said before, when I was talking about fate and the destiny and the destination, certain people don't have it in them to say goodbye. So for those people who don't have it in them to say goodbye, we must say goodbye to you. We can't listen to you anymore. We can't allow ourselves to be poisoned by your ideas, your old ways of thinking, your black talk and your African talk that ain't produced nothing but a bunch of disgruntled people who mad at the white man, who hate the white man, who really love the white man, and just mad because he won't give you no handouts, because he won't share in the wealth with you. That's what you really mad about, because he won't give you the right to do what he doing in society. That's the jealousy right there. Right? Because as soon as he give you more, like I said, all he has to do is throw you a bone. The black man, the black woman, all he has to do is throw you a bone, throw you a black president, throw you a few congressmen, throw you a black judge, throw you a black whatever, and you happy. Give you a raise on your job, give you some more money on your tax returns or whatever when you get your money back, and you happy. You get them pair of Jordans, right? That you're going to pay $200 for. You get a pair of True Religion jeans that you're going to pay $200 for, and you happy. You get you a new cell phone, an iPhone 5 that you flashing off in front of some girl you're trying to screw. And like I said, you Negroes, you come cheap. Your joy, your satisfaction comes cheap. You come cheap, right? But to a bright man, a bright woman, one who is pure energy, pure mental power, we don't come cheap. In fact, we're not for sale. We for the evolution of our people, first and foremost, mentally. We understand the problem with our people is a mental problem. We're not going to get up here and spit this African crap to our people. We're not going to get up here and spit this black crap to our people, because we know the spirit in which it was delivered. We know the people whose forked tongues it came out of. And we know the black forked tongues that keep it going. The Negroes that came and pushed God and the devil and Jesus on us, we don't want you no more. Because it came out of from forked tongues, and black forked tongues continue to push this garbage to our people. Right? Because, like I said, it's not the only ones. Like I said, the black man and the white man are against the evolution of the bright man and bright woman. I said the black man and the so-called white man are against the evolution of the bright man the bright woman, the bright race. They are against that evolution. Right? Why? Because your black race is nothing but a carbon copy version of the white race. They're a bunch of wannabes. Right? When I put the image of the bright woman up next to the black woman, I said the black woman is the one with the perm in her hair trying to look like the white woman. Right? And I said the bright woman is the one who's trying to be her own natural self. Proud, unapologetic, with another bright man who loves her for who she is. You understand? And want to raise bright children, intelligent children, because it is ignorant for you to try and be like someone else, to be in the shoes of somebody else. But that's what the black race does. That's what the black race does when you see the black version of the white man, your black man running around tattooing himself up, following the ways and the beliefs and the spiritual practices of the white man and the other races, or sitting up here laying with their women, or you so-called black women who doing the same thing, laying with the other races and trying to perm your hair and press your hair and trying to be like these other people, trying to talk like them, act like them, read the same books as them, participate in the same spiritual practices as these people. You know different. We got a call coming in. Let me take the call. 423, you're on air.
Yeah, I want to just ask a question about the Son of Man, or the one that's supposed to come and bring forth the light. If this person is here, why aren't nobody, talking about it, and what would bring about that type of conversation?
We already having this conversation. The Son of Man is one who's bringing about a new intelligence on the planet, who is bringing about an evolution in the black race. That's the Son of Man. Right? Nobody, the black race, and nobody's going to talk about the Son of Man because nobody really wants the Son of Man to come. Nobody wants the Son of Man to bring about the evolution, because once the evolution comes in the so-called black race and they go from being those people in darkness or in a state of ignorance, and they go from going to being that elect people, or those chosen people who start thinking with a supreme mind again, or Amen mind again, or that what you call God-like mind again, then that means that that's the end of something else and the beginning of another form or another era coming in. So, and if you got your black race, they don't want things to change. They want Jesus Christ still. They don't want the Son of Man. The Son of Man and Jesus Christ are two different people. One is real, one is false.
And I actually been around people that been thinking on a higher concept, but they are still using those terms. They are, their minds are far more higher than the average person you would see up in Sunday church, but they still using the terms. I even ran into one black sister that was reading the Kabbalah and was, trying to get off into that. And, she's talking about this. As I was talking to her, she said I was speaking in tongues. She heard me speak in tongues as I was breaking down some of the stuff that I shared with her and other group of people. And she was like, "Can you translate what you just said?" And I know the language. I don't speak it per se, because when you begin to speak another language, it's almost like there's another force right there. And sometimes that force can, so I didn't, but she said she heard it. And she was like, I hear he's telling me to listen to you. And she was saying all this and all that. And I was telling her that she is that divine force. But she's still going about it, as though she was learning this mysticism, which I guess that's just her past. But I was trying to let her know that it is her. And she was talking about, well, what deity do you call on and all that. And I told her I don't just get stuck on names.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if that helped the sister out or not. But I was telling her to just take a note of what's been popped up on your papers and stuff, because there's a message. And it's just interesting, when you finally run into sisters on that level. And, when you done been through that, but it seems like they just still stuck on that formality of, what was given to us or what we accepted since we, came through this transition of being here, in this country.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you break that down?
Well, here's the thing. You have black people who are still following the ways of the white man. Whatever the white man puts out or any other race of people put out, they're going to follow it, right? Like I said, they reading the Kabbalah, they reading some mysticism nonsense and whatnot. The majority of our people don't really want the truth. And they want to follow the ways of the white man. They want to follow their way of thinking. They want to follow and make everything a mystery because they still look at things. Like I said, if it's not something that's to blow, if it's not something that's set up, some teaching that's set up to blow their minds. Like I said, if it's not something that's going to either blow their minds or take them on a trip somewhere to capture their imagination, that childlike imagination in them, then they're not trying to really hear that. They're not trying to hear anything that's going to be about changing their lives or altering their lives for the better, which is what any form of higher knowledge or identity that you come into is supposed to do. It's supposed to denote something greater in you. She's looking for the mysticism because that's, like I said, that's your black people. Your black people are constantly in darkness seeking to find or look into the white man, their counterpart, to find truth, to find some sort of truth or some sort of a validation or some authority type of thing. They do that automatically, and they don't even realize they're doing it. So when I say the Son of Man, again, is here, and the Son of Man is here for a chosen few, for an elect few, then that Son of Man, like I said, is going to house the intelligence of that ascendancy or that future race or that generation of almond beings to raise the people in this current state to go forward in that ascension, to raise their mental level. The majority of the black race, they're not going to go there. They're not trying to raise in that level. They're not trying to move forward. Everything with the black race is about black rhetoric, black power. They still stuck on black power. They still stuck on black nationalism. They've been talking about this for the last 4 years. They still stuck on now they're in the Kabbalah and spirituality and and ankhs and kissing ankhs and all this madness. Like I said, they into all this stuff that basically does nothing to alter their lives for the better. They don't really want anything to change. They just want their minds blown. And that sounds like that's what that sister is going through right there. She just wants her mind blown.
Oh.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just thinking, like people's attention really nothing really captivates their attention unless something destructive happens.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the black race for you. The black people don't want nothing to change. They okay with how things are here. They're okay with how things are here. They don't want nothing to change in their life. They don't really see themselves as supreme people. They see themselves as, like I said, they see themselves as just people who are in search of. They're constantly gonna be in search of something, and they looking behind the white man. Their main focus, the black man and black woman's main focus is the white man. That's their main focus. Their main focus is the white man. Their main focus, and like I said, because how you know that is if their main focus was them, you'd see our people ahead, a lot further ahead in the world, in life, more centered mentally and advancing than what you see now. If you don't see our people advancing mentally or coming into a higher knowledge of themselves, or an ascension in their children or an advancement in their children, that means no evolution is taking place in the black race. That means their focus is elsewhere, obviously. Isn't that, right or wrong?
You're right.
That sounds like that's what that sister suffers from. She suffers from that.
And
go ahead.
I was, when I brought up the word spear, she was thinking as though some type of knife or something, but she didn't know that there was also a bowl or, circle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just like people, you can't get a people's attention until something bad happens, until something comes through here. I don't like bringing up, what happened in the past, but like what happened right before the 1st of November. When that storm went up the East Coast, it actually got those people's attention.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like it's going to take something like that to constantly be in play for it to get these people's attention. And I'm like, should it be that way, or is that part of it, or?
No, because like I said, a sign when people are reacting or going off of instinct, that proves that they're on a submental level, right? Black people are on a submental level. They've come to a submental level where everything, like I said, is based on reactionary, distractive, submental things or not. Our people perk up to things like that. Like I said, you'll see black people. It'll be a fight going on somewhere. Like I said, in the street, a fight will break out, and you'll see black people all gather around to watch the fight. Watch young kids, it could be young kids, whatever, fighting each other, tearing each other apart, whatever. They instead of trying to break the fight up or bring peace to everything and trying to bring a mental stability to the situation, you'll see black people, old and young, wanting to see a fight happen. So our people are vibrating on a submental frequency right now. They vibrate. They got the mindset of the beast right now. The majority of our people, they got the mindset of the beast. But then they want to sit up here and talk about blackness or some kind of being proud, some kind of way of how they are.
When you said beast, are you talking about as
mankind, the human race? They don't have the mindset of a supreme race of people. They don't carry themselves like a supreme race of people. They carry themselves like beasts. The black man, the black woman carry themselves like animals now. They don't carry themselves like a supreme race of people.
Because the only reason why I ask you that, because like on the terrestrial level, you could say beast, and you could say as man and his faculties with other man as far as if you want to pick up a gun or a knife. But when you said beast on a higher level, when you talking about an astral level, I'm thinking you are talking about like thunderstorm or.
No, there's no beast on no high. There's no beast on no higher level. The beast is on the terrestrial plane. Like I said, when our people are sitting here, we African, we claiming this land. That's a bestial mindset because only a beast marks territory. Right? Your white man, all the rest of these people, only a beast marks territory. And so when you see the black man doing that, talking about, oh, I'm African and we came from this part, that's a terrestrial mindset. We don't come, if you know anything, like I said, anyone knows about our ascension, we don't even come from this planet. We from a whole other different place. We created this planet, you know what I'm saying? But we're not from this planet. So how could we claim this planet or mark territory like animals? That's what animals do.
Right. So when you use the phrase beast, you basically talking about terror to mankind. Okay. No, I was just, confirming what you were saying about beast. You're talking about man.
Mankind. Because even the scientists, they say that the human is an animal. So he's admitting that the human is an animal. Then, like I said, and so if he's saying the human is an animal, then that means the black man who thinks on that level as a human or thinks of himself as a human and not above that or beyond that, then you're an animal too. And you got a lot of simple-minded, so-called educated black men who say, yeah, we are animals too. We're animals too. Like I said, yeah, well, you go ahead and be an animal. That's the stupidity of the damn black man. His white counterpart could tell him he's an animal, that he's part of some animal genetic or some human genetic, and the simple-minded black man will sit up there and go, yeah, you're right. I am an animal. They got this new thing on. I think it's History 2, H2 channel, where they showing the origin of man, and in 2 hours it's called. Now, here's the new story. Now, it's funny, since I've been teaching that our people are not part of the human race, that we are actually a different species of people, that we are part of the almond race, that we are a totally different species from the white man, the East Indian, and the Chinese, and all these other. We're different species. Now that I've been teaching that, now I said we don't fit into the evolutionary chart of the human race. I've been teaching this for over 2 years now. Now, it's funny, now all of a sudden, now they coming up with some special that's on where they saying that man evolved from the ape, right? And then they saying that as man evolved, the first ape looks like a black man now. I mean, they kind of look like some mixed black man with straight hair, even though the black man ain't got straight hair. But now they saying he come from a black man, and then they evolved into white people. So what's being implied is that the primitive so-called prime or the so-called original man is a primitive ape-like person, black man, and the more refined and advanced man, it eventually came out to be a white man. And you'll have some simple-minded Negroes going with that because they push that original black man nonsense when we're not even a part of the origin of these people here. We're not part of this the original man thing. We are eternal people that came here into this realm, and we're supposed to be on a different evolutionary scale than the human race. But like I said, our people don't want to accept that because they want to be part and parcel with the white man and everybody else. That's why they're not evolving.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you, Nubian.
All right, brother. All right. All right. This is real talk. Because we have to go from being this African nonsense where people are telling us that we came from some part on this planet, right? That we came from some part on the planet, right? And called Africa, and that we are basically came from there, no place else. When you got black people all over the damn planet, was all over the planet, living in every part of the world, right? They can't find our origin in Africa. They don't know where our people come from. We was all over the planet. But we'll accept this African thing because you got some black people still got Africa on the brain, right? They got Africa on the brain. No matter how much you tell them that Scipio Africanus and the Romans and the white man named us Africans, they still want to be African. They'll just switch the C to a K, and they like that made a difference. Because, like I said, they want to accept or take in any name whatever name the white man call them, that's what they want to be. But you couldn't get the damn white man if it was reversed and the black man owned the black man owned the white man. He gave the white man his name. The white man, as soon as he got out of bondage, soon he would reject everything the black man taught him about him and would go and just totally go rogue. And even if he had to create a whole other history or create a whole other teaching, he would do it. But not the damn black man. He'll stay with the white man's name. He'll stay with his black title, his African title, whatever the Negro title, whatever the white man called. He'll keep that. Right? He's not even going to try and come with something else or open his mind up to receive nothing else. The majority of our people. That's why the evolution has to take place. Because it's about the independent thinking of a new people. That's all this is about the independent, free thinking of a new people coming out of the black race, because the black race is not free thinkers. The black race is still damn mental slaves. 2013 remote-controlled slaves to the white man. That's why, like I said, you sit up here and down his books and read his books and accept his BS. He'll tell you anything and tell you it's some scientific fact or some scientific, pseudo-scientific fact, whatever. He'll just make up something, and you don't even test the logic of it because you're not thinking on your own. No, we breeding a race of thinkers here. We breeding a race of thinkers out of the black race, out of the African populace of the mindset to produce a bright race, a solar intelligent race, solar beings. That's what we breeding. That's what we're advocating in the state of Mentel. We're not breeding a bunch of people in darkness who sit around with their thumb up their butt, keep talking about they Africans. With a white man's name, pushing red, black, and green. I sit up here and prove, and even your so-called scholars said that the word Africa came from the Leo Scipio Africanus and these people, and our people still want to take that name. What does that tell you? That our people are still mental slaves. They should have rejected the African name. They should have rejected the black name. You should be ready to reject that because we've done nothing under that name. We've accomplished nothing under those titles. You should be ready to reject anything and try something new if you're truly about the evolution of your people. Anybody who's willing to uphold this madness and this stupidity, then like I said, you're nothing but a carbon copy slave. You're no different than them blacks that was fighting with the white man back in slavery. That you had blacks actually fighting with the Confederate Army to help keep them in slavery. These Negroes actually picked up guns to fight the white men. Not saying those white men were any better, but they actually picked up guns to help fight to keep them in slavery. They actually picked up guns in defense of keeping them in slavery. They didn't pick up the guns and kill the men who kept them in slavery when they had the chance. They picked up guns and killed people who was trying to fight to break the back of the South. They actually did that. These simple-minded Negroes actually did that. Just like you got these simple-minded Negroes today will come up here and come against me when I'm trying to talk about the evolution of my people. They come up here trying to, who this Nubian think he is? He's trying to start a cult. That nigga, he trying to, that's that same mentality. today that's against the evolution of our people. I see it all the time. We see it all the time when we go out and we're trying to look for our people and raise the intelligence of our people. Bring together the almond race. Advocate the forming of the bright race. We see it all the damn time. We see the hate all the time. So much so that I got to dedicate this song. You already know the song I'm going to dedicate to the people who hate the evolution from the black race. That we growing away from the black race. You know, the black haters, the African American haters. You know, we have to move away from them, who want to keep pushing Jesus Christ on us, keep pushing the devil and God on us and all that nonsense. You know, we got to play the thing for them. They want to keep pushing the white man philosophy on us, metaphysics, Egyptology, Pan-Africanism, all that white philosophy and blackface. They want to keep pushing us. You know, we got to play this special song for them called Sambo Contigo from Naked Music. We'll be right back. You know, in the evolution of a people, there have to be sacrifices. You know, a sacrifice of the mind. I'm not talking about sacrifices like life and death sacrifice. I'm talking about mental sacrifice. Right? I'm talking about mental sacrifice. There has to be a mental sacrifice and a willingness to give up the old ways of thinking. Right? We get ourselves married on to old ways of thinking. And we don't sit and say to ourselves, you know what, this, you know, if it's not working for us, we have to move on. See, that's what happens when you're producing irrational people. I said we don't need to be talking about black nationalism. We need to be talking about bright rationalism, intelligent people. We need to produce intelligent people, forward-thinking people, because that's the evolution. That's the only step that black people can go to at this point in our lives. People who have been irrational for the last 400 or 500 years. You know, people that have been irrational for the last 400 or 500 years, following the ways and thinking of other people. Like we don't have a single thought, an independent thought in our heads. That's irrational that you're not producing a single independent thought in your head that's not linked to other people. Right? That's sad and pathetic all at the same time. Right? That is sad and pathetic all at the same time. That we're not producing our own ideas, rational ideas, based on the highest principle, which is intelligence. Intelligence is that which is beyond us, that we should constantly be reaching for. Intelligence is not here on this planet. Pure intelligence is not here. Pure intelligence has been turned into information on this planet. Right? Right? It's not really focused on our evolution, right? You know, it's not focused on our evolution. It's not focused on the forward movement of a people. We should be a lot further ahead than we are as a people. We should be a lot further ahead than we are as a people. Right? If we're not moving ahead, in a greater propensity, if we're not evolving, if we're not advancing into super-mental beings, because that's what we're supposed to be evolving into. When you talk about real supermen and superwomen, we're supposed to be advancing as so-called black men and black women into super-mental people, super-mental men and women, super-mental beings. We're supposed to be advancing into super-mental people, advanced thinkers, right? Because we set up here, black people was always famous for sitting up here talking about how fast we run, how high we can jump, how we excel in sports, how we excel in how we excel in athletic ability, we should be excelling in mental capabilities and thought, first and foremost, and being the window, the open window to bring forward higher intelligence, advanced thought. We should be the open window for that. And that should be our evolution that's bringing these things forward in us. But that's not occurring, not in most of our people. I'm going to take a call. 757, you're on the air.
Yeah, just wanted to add on the topic, so for what you were just mentioning. I guess I got a statement and just to conversate with you on when you mention the mental evolution of a people, right? Do you figure that a mental evolution involves the next step of a physical activity? Like, if we're changing the way that we perceive or, we think about life or the way that people normally do things, does that eventually involve different activities per se than you're normally doing?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not just stop doing what society is doing, but I'm saying, like, do you have anything that you? I mean, just me. I mean, I guess we're talking to everybody, but I guess if I'm saying, like, per se, is there an intellectual activity that you would prescribe to? You know what I'm saying? Just more or less, like, is there intellectual activity? Like, if somebody considers themselves intelligent or or so forth, and they're not doing what the world is doing, is there an activity? Because looking at this society, if anybody or people is going to change something, it has to be an activity that the people are involved in order for them to show that they are growing mentally and that they are, that they are actually showing that they're different than everyone else.
Well, one of the things one of the things that we're doing and our what we advocate in the state of Mentel is we don't partake in any cigarettes, drugs, liquor. We don't partake in any of that stuff. We're clean people. We don't partake in any religious practices, any spiritual practices, any of the old ways of the past. We advocate the total wiping of our memory of the old things of the past. I'm not saying to totally take it out of your mind, but to, totally disassociate ourselves with things of the past titles and things like that, and start over new as a new people. Same way you do with your computer, where you you clean out your computer, or you
defrag
refresh your computer.
Okay.
We advocate a mental refreshing of ourselves as mentalists, so that we can open our minds up to be pure receivers, pure receptors. We don't have any of the old ways of thinking, the old preconceived notions in our head that stops us from receiving higher intelligence or advanced intelligence. We don't have it there. We don't have the titles of black and African and we come from Africa or any of this stuff that people told us, because we know it's not the truth. We don't have these things, these old ways of thinking, because what it does is it grounds us mentally. It puts us in a submental state. So based on that, we have dropped these things. We've gotten away from these things.
Okay, like, all right, well, like you say, I guess in my mind, I'm thinking, like, would you come up with new tools? Okay, if you're gonna cease to do, as much as the old ways of thinking as possible, do you come up with in a creative mindset, like you come up with new tools to build? Do you come up with a new design for a house? Do you, do you, what I'm saying? Because unless you're creating a new paradigm, then, by default, what I'm saying, then you're going to download what somebody else is creating. In other words, if there are other people that are somewhere else creating things, by the time you get to what we consider the next day or the future, by the time if you're not substituting or combating that, then you're going to end up taking in again somebody else's thought, because they're creating the things that you're using. So, like, again, when we okay, you know, we want to move away from, you know, I know you mentioned about the dress and so forth, but if we're not tailoring our own clothes, you know what I'm saying? If we're getting things from someone else, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So the mind has to get to a clear, complete thought that is okay. I guess the best way I can convey it, if there is you said like an almond being that's creating a new planet, you know what I'm saying? Like, he can't have other things from other beings. You know what I'm saying? He has to kind of, you know, see things on a different pattern. I guess that's what I'm getting to. A different pattern of utensils or tools or whatever in order to get their mind away, because if not, you're going to be getting the same plates, the same type of fork. You're going to write the same way. You're going to, you know what I'm saying? How do you move different than somebody if you're still taking in somebody else's way of moving? I guess that's, you know.
Well, here's the thing. Everything is a process. See, the problem with our people is that black people don't want to go through the process of, you know, starting the wheels in motion. Everything as a progression. Like, for example, just getting our people out of the whole black and African thing and the whole, mindset of we black people and this black and versus white, and, you know, getting us to accept the concept as mental receivers and bright people or bright receivers and whatnot. That's the start. After that, then all new things start to come to us as we're starting to think together collectively, as we are one state, we're one movement, one nation, whatever the case may be. Then all of this stuff starts to come into our mind, because then I'll be like, hey, you know what, I'm going to start this business over here. I'm going to deliver water or do this like I do now. I'm going to deliver water to my people. You know what, you'd be like, I'm going to do this. You know, what if I did this, I got into the solar housing thing? That starts to mind thinking. You understand? And it starts you to bringing in and progressing and bringing in new things, opening the door. But black people, like I said, that's a black mentality where we think, oh, okay, now we said we ain't doing this no more. Now what? Let's start bringing in new stuff. Let's start flying. Let's start doing also before we learn how to walk. You know, everything is supposed to be a progression. But like I said, you know, black people are not patient toward anything, and they're not willing to live this out as a way of life, because even if new things are not produced in your lifetime, even if it comes by way of your children, that's still part of your evolution, because, you know, we're going to have to take time to get out of this madness we in, but we have to start now. We want to see, and it might be faster, and it might happen in your lifetime, but if, you know, that depends on how fast we are coming together and working and clearing out our minds and starting to think with no boundaries and no barriers, no mental obstacles. We don't have the white man to say, oh, we got to blame him for why we ain't doing this, or we got to blame him for that, why we ain't doing that, or he the reason why we ain't doing. We don't have that no more. Once we start looking beyond that, once we start working together, once we start learning how to cooperate with each other, and we come to the conclusion that, look, we all mental receivers, we all state of mental, we all one mind, we all one body, we all one soul, we all working together collectively. There is no differences. There is no different philosophies. There's no different theories. There's just one. We're moving in a mathematical, linear state of thinking, right? We don't drop the math, and we moving on a path of logical thinking, right? We're on a whole nother level, right? Then you're going to start to see technology, new technology, different things come in, because, as I said, our people on the other side, our ascendants, our children, our great-grandchildren, they've already made it, right? They've already made it to a higher level mentally. So all we're doing is actually coming in line with those people, right? We're coming in line with those people who have already made it. Our children, our great-great-grandchildren have made it. But unless we come in alignment with them as one full reception, then we're not going to make it, then they're not going to make it as well.
Right. Well, you know, then do you see that something like this is clearly possible with a negation of the past? And I say that to say this. I mean, I say that to say this. I come from my mother's side, a non-religious family to a degree. Growing up, so forth. My grandmother taught my aunts, my mom, and all of them how to use the sewing machine, A, B, C. So would you say we negate the fact that we was independently doing something like that, and you know what I'm saying? Forget about creating a new sewing machine, or forget about manufacturing your own items, or because how like to a degree, how do you leave behind some things that had you as an independent people? There's things that we was doing that allowed us to be together, that was allowing us to move forward until we had integration. Until we integrated, it seems like we was on a natural path forward, and then there was a percentage of the like I know you mentioned before, and me and you both know, 10% or some influence group that say, oh, we all in it together, and then we jumped in the pot with people, and it seemed like the progression ceased at that point, because I grew up as a little boy. I actually seen it. I actually seen family members and neighbors working together. So, like, as of now, do we negate the fact that we was doing it at one particular point, and then we integrated, and now everybody on drugs and, like you said, sagging pants and baby mamas, all of that came up during me and your lifetime. It wasn't like that when we was born. You know what I'm saying? So within the last 40 years, so forth, we was at a progression.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm not saying negate anything whereas we were working together. I'm not saying that. I say because we're not doing that now. I'm saying we take the progressive side of it, but the problem is, we keep talking about we were progressive and we were, achieving things. We still weren't together mentally. We still weren't one mind. We still had a degenerate mindset in our people. The best movement, the best nation that our people have ever seen, in this society was under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Like I said, a lot of people don't agree with the Islam part of it, and that's fine. You don't have to agree with that, but it was just a tool to unify our people. Like I said, we doing the same thing in the state of mental. We just not using Islam. We're using mentellect, and we forming a state of mental, or a state of intellectuals, or a state of intellectual people. That's what we're forming as a open movement of reception. We're teaching mental reception and the advancement of mental reception. We're not teaching a religion. We're not teaching a philosophy.
Agree with that.
So
I know. I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. Like, as far as dealing with your mind, because I myself, I really do think that there's so many, like, when we meet each other, so many of us are on different mental planes or different, so it's like it's hard for you to move forward with people if they're not mentally vibrating on a certain level. If you're not perceiving things in a certain degree, and I agree with you there, and that doesn't mean that you have to throw in any religion at all. It's just how you perceive things, like just how you perceive things, and like you say, it could be slow thing. It could be from tying your shoe up to how you wake up in the morning to how we go out and greet each other, or what I'm saying, or how we treat our sisters or whatever. It could be. It don't have to be no religion. It's just like, but we come across so many of each other that we're not mentally there, but so I really do agree with you 100% on that. It really does have to be a mental movement, because everything else, and people keep going back to, dealing with deities and dealing with all of that, when it never started that way. It started out mental, and it's going to go forward mental. It's just humans and people brought all that larceny into the picture because they felt some type of insecurity. That's what I really meditate on, that people had to have some insecurity, because you don't need all that crap. You don't need all of that to be an intelligent person. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I know you got to do the questions, but you know what I'm saying, I appreciate you building on that. You know what I'm saying, and I fall back.
You okay? You straight? We got like 30 minutes left and whatnot. But
okay.
Definitely
would you add another extra hour, half an hour?
No. We on the because we started at 9:30, so we're gonna end at 11:30. You know. Started a little late.
Okay.
We started at 9 tonight.
Yeah, but I do agree with you. Like even with with me going through what I'm saying, Nuwabian School of Thought, like you said, or either Nation of Islam. I went through all of them. It's like you really don't need that. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of it clutters up. I believe it clutters up your productivity because people will get sidetracked. And people will wait to scapegoat certain things. You know what I'm saying? People will wait to jump on a Yahuwah or Jesus. They'll use that in order for them not to progress mentally. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just to do mental activities. And like I said, don't have to be, you ain't got to throw no names really in it. It's just like, all right, is your activity an intelligent activity? You know, I guess you could start at, do you eat with the fork, or you eat with the knife, or you know what I'm saying? What do you know? So you soup with a spoon or a fork? Which one do you intelligently do? You can move from simple things, but I do. I do concur. With that, it really does have to be mental. But one thing, and then I'm gonna fall back on this question, like, because I really do. I guess like it's a sentimental thing, not emotional. But when I look at the potential of our people and the fact that a lot of them default to just getting money, like somebody intelligent, and I had a lot of people in my travels that was exercising intelligent, but then they would default to just getting money, whether it was sisters, whether it was brothers, and it's a battle between intelligence and the percent that you said people not wanting to be black. I don't think they really care about that. I'm gonna really tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? Normal person, whether they care if they black or African, they don't care about that. The normal good percentage of people, whether they're conscious, natural, whatever, that outside of the intelligence, which we agree is the most important, their main thing is money. And so with you doing what you're doing, I'm gonna fall back on this. I just want to know, like, how do you really, like, intelligently figure that you're going to supersede that part of the degraded part of our society? Because that's where everybody at. That's what we give up. We give up our talent. We give up everything for money. The females, so they butt for money. Dudes, kill each other for money. So, like, I just want to see if is that a particular? Do you have an intelligent, what I'm saying, feedback from me on how we would succeed over that hurdle?
Okay, well, here's the answer to that. How you succeed over that hurdle is to disassociate yourself, disconnect from those people. That's how you do that. I always advocate a separation within the quote-unquote black race, the bright race from the black race, because you got certain people you just can't talk to, and they have a mentality where they want to kill and commit murder, and they want to do all of this in order to give the money back to the white man, because that's all they do with it. When they end up killing, they go out and they want to buy $100 jeans. They want to go to the bar and the club and buy out the club and the bar. So they just basically trying to feed their creature comforts and whatnot, their submental way of thinking. So they'll be willing to kill to keep that lifestyle going and whatnot. They'll send people to the grave and whatnot, or pretty much already dead mentally. So they just, like I said, they killing in a rotation. They killing in a circle. And like I said, we think on a higher level than that. So our purpose in saying that is we separate ourselves from those kind of people. I'm not advocating not to make money or do what you have to do in the society. I said, but do it intelligently, do it smartly, build businesses and things like that. There's nothing wrong with capitalism and building business and whatnot. It's a part of intelligence to be able to capitalize on something and make money at it and take care of yourself and your family. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. But when you have to start killing people and doing all kind of negative or illogical things, to chase money that you're not going to do anything with other than to give it back to the white man for simple-minded material possessions like Jordans and some damn jeans and some nonsense that some new weed for your woman or whatever the hell people are into. Like I said, that's the madness right there, the simple-mindedness of the black man and black woman. Like I said,
I really agree with that. That little portion, what you said, one little thing that I hope that there is ever a forum, an open forum to where we can discuss with brothers and sisters on the fact that, all right, even if you are in business or you are getting this, why are you giving it right back? Like what you just said is so profound, because everybody that's doing that, they influence our intelligent children or, family members, and what they end up doing is coming along and then they get it, and then they give it right back. So all of the rap videos and all the things like, oh, yeah, you got $1 million. Okay, but you still is turning around and giving it right back. How do you send that into a linear of, it's like if you was taking it and throwing it forward, how do we throw it forward or pay it forward to where, like, you know what I'm saying, like if, an intelligent person is not just giving it back to them. You know what I'm saying? Because that's real. That's a real issue right there, man. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Like we can't come together and do any projects together because I'm gonna give you an example. I had a bus trip one time with brothers and sisters, and I asked them, "How much y'all pay a month? $700, $900 a month. All right, let's say it's 10. I'm just gonna use a number. It's 10 of us on this bus. All right, so you know what I'm saying? That's either $7,000 or $9,000. You know what I'm saying? All of y'all is about to go home after this trip that we're taking, and we're about to collectively give somebody $9,000 that we can't figure out how to move that money forward together. You know what I'm saying? That's like a disease that I see with our people. Like it's like an individualism, like an individual thing that people gonna give it back to society in order for them to individually look, you know what I'm saying, or be perceived good. But the person that's that's giving it to you, they waiting on you to give it back. They're not giving you. There's no brother or sister that has anybody giving them anything. You know what I'm saying? But all our brothers and sisters are giving it back to them individually. We're not taking it and putting it together so that we could say, all right, $9,000. We just built a hospital or a school, or sent somebody somewhere to learn medicine or to Cuba or whatever. That type of thinking, is eluding our people. The conversation is even eluding our people, bro. It's like,
well, you know why that is? That's because we got a lot of rhetorical talk and reactionary people within the black race. They're not actionary people. They just want to talk and blame the white man. Nobody's advocating any forward motion or talking about sin. I don't hear none of these black people advocating sending young black boys to college or young black girls to college to become doctors and lawyers and the things you need to build a so-called quote-unquote black nation. They talking about black power, kill a white man, which they ain't going to do anyway. It's just a bunch of talk. So why don't you do something real, like I said, and send your children to school, send them to college to become doctors and lawyers, so you ain't got to be sitting up on the table when you sick in front of some white East Indian or Arab doctor and whatnot that you claim you don't like so much. But listen, brother, let me take this other call.
Got
right?
You.
All right. Peace. 480, you on air. 480?
Hello?
Hey, hello. I'm here. Hello.
I didn't even know I accidentally hit, but I'm listening in, man, my girl, whatever. I'm the same guy that listened the other night.
Oh, yeah, brother, how you doing? I recognize your number. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. Just appreciating this blog talk and the information and everything. And but shoot, since I'm in here, man, I just want to say, well, shoot, I went ahead and got my hair cut today, and I ain't gonna lie, like I feel like a whole new vibration too. Like I feel more clear in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a new vibration. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that was a real good idea. Even my girl, you know what I'm saying? She even said it seemed like a new vibration to me. So it I feel good, bro. You know what I'm saying? I feel good to be clean. You know what I'm saying? Clean the face off and all that. You know, it's a nice look. And it feels good, you know. So I appreciate that. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. I love what you're doing, and we listening, man. So
thank you, brother. Thank you to the sister too. Thank you both.
Yep.
I'll take care. Thank you.
All right.
All right. I'm gonna play a little bit of music. I saw 423. You can call back 423. I'm gonna play a little bit of music. Okay, 423. Right. 423. You're on the air.
I was thinking about what the brother was saying. Like, if we, didn't come up with any kind of practical application to coming up on this higher level of intellect, then we're just going to be receiving the same old applications that's been used. I mean, and I was following what he was saying about, where do we start, or do we devise our own type of language? Because I know I did application of some of the ancient languages, and it took me to a higher level, and I think it was a level that a lot of things were happening. So I kind of calmed down on that. I don't do the application no more. And I was thinking, well, how could I do that application without some of the things that I did before, and where would it take me? So that's where my mind is right now. Do I?
We like I said, the application for us is the state of mental, and mentellect. That's the application for us. That we are actually applying mentellect in our lives. We are actually practically applying mentellect and this higher advanced intelligence that we coming across in our lives. And utilizing it and dumping out the old things. So, we do have a practical application for the evolution of our thinking and opening ourselves to be pure receivers and and receiving nothing but higher intelligence and about who we are and the world is coming in and how we relate to the world in the future. We're not looking back. We're not taking old languages. We're picking up new languages and going forward with that. We're picking up new levels of thinking, and we're opening our minds to receive that. And that's how we apply this in the application.
Okay, because I was like I said, we're picking up the new languages and new ways of thinking. Then we shouldn't have to send them kids off to go and be doctors. They should be in the application of being able to use their minds to be this healing force instead of going to University of Chicago or somewhere, a medical center. You know what I'm saying?
They have to familiarize themselves with that. See, that's the problem. Our people always want to take the shortcut. That's a black mentality. We don't want to go and send our children. I'm gonna give you a good example of that. Like the Japanese, right? They sent. After, Pearl Harbor and, Japan in the Nagasaki and Hiroshima was bombed, they sent their children over here, after the bomb and whatnot into America, and their children went to universities and colleges and things like that, went back and became doctors, lawyers, all these things, and they took the technology and electronics and whatnot, learned it, came back and took it to a whole nother level. So because we were supposed to be the ones who were bringing in the technology first and foremost, and we're behind, we have to take in this technology that's here now in order to produce something new and build upon it, because that was the whole point. We were supposed to be the ones that were receiving the technology and the higher intelligence to bring in that the white man and the other races brought in, but being that we have been disconnected mentally, we have been had our attention focused on nonsense and rhetoric and all kind of ignorant and illogical ways of thinking. We wasn't open to receive that intelligence. So now we have to take in what's here in order to advance that and go above and beyond that. You have to familiarize yourself. There's no, okay, I'm intelligent, so now I'm in tune and what I'm trying to tune in, so now I'm just going to be a doctor. It don't work like that. We don't know. We don't understand again that it's a progress. It's a progression. The black man, the so-called black man, they don't want to do the work. They don't want to go through a stage, because just as the white man and all these other people went through a stage of breaking us mentally, we're gonna have to go through stages of breaking out of that way of thinking mentally. We got to go through the same stages of progression again. And we start.
I got you.
So
okay,
all right?
Okay.
All right. Thanks, brother. All right. We'll play a little bit of music, something short, and then we'll get back to these questions in a minute. Let me see what I want to play. The ability to house greater intelligence, the ability to focus that intelligence, to focus that light outward, to open yourself up to receive that ability will bring about an evolution. The ability to sacrifice your old ways of thinking will bring about an evolution. We must go through this evolution if we are going to survive, because in the future to come, no one's going to take care of us. No one's going to take care of us. Nobody's going to be around to think, we're going to give them a program to follow. We're going to give them a job. We're going to give them some welfare. We're going to give them some food stamps. We're going to give them some Section 8. That's coming to an end. That's going to come to an end. Right? You already see it coming to an end already in these cities where you see more black people unemployed than whites and everybody else. We control less than 1% of the economic wealth in this society. You already see it. Nobody's taking care of us anymore. Nobody's got our back or got our best interest at heart anymore. That's over with. Not that they ever did, but nobody really has that at heart anymore. Nobody cares about our people anymore. Not that they did in the first place. Again. And we want to sit up here and keep believing that, everything going to be all right. We're going to always be able to get some welfare, get some housing, get some, that's what them people in New Orleans thought. They thought that in New Orleans that the relief was coming for them. And they sat up there and they died believing it. That's what's happening with our people. Because you have refused to start thinking, because you refuse to start coming together, because you refuse to hear this message of evolution in our people, and you still want to come with this black ignorance and this Pan-African nonsense and this welfare mentality and this, everything going to be all right mentality, or, we don't want to change, or we don't need no new leaders, or we don't need no new movements to follow. We don't need that. Y'all going to die in ignorance. The black race is going to die in ignorance. Like I said, nobody's going to help you. They ain't going to have to kill you. The white man, all these other people, they ain't going to have to kill you. They'll just stop taking care of you. They'll stop giving you jobs. They'll stop creating systems for you to take care of you. They'll stop giving you Section 8 and welfare. They'll stop giving you jobs, so you black men are on the streets now begging. Right? When you're not hitting somebody in the head trying to rob them for their money, you're going to be on the streets begging or selling dope. While Ali and them in the Arab store laughing at you, taking home thousands and thousands of dollars of your money every day. Right? Out of your neighborhood. Which is about to not be your neighborhood anymore. Because y'all want to sit around and you want to wait on people to do for you. You want to sit around and wait on people to do for you. You want to mentally deprive yourself of this evolution. You want to mentally deprive yourself of this evolution that we're supposed to be going through today. And we're trying to advance in the pursuit of a greater mind to produce those super mental beings. Like I said, black people are big on talking about how great we are. We great at athletics, run fast, jump the highest, fight the best, and all this other stuff. We screw the best. We got black women built the best. We talk about all the physical attributes of our people, right? And we talk about how beautiful our skin is and whatnot, blah, 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 and all this. And then when it comes down to the mental part of it, zip zero. When it comes to the mental end of it, when it comes to being producers, when it comes to being actionary people, when it comes down to mental power, right? When it comes down to being able to match that physical capability with mental capability, we at a loss for words. We sitting here with our thumbs up our butts, black power. I didn't ask you that. I asked you, how are we going to, sustain the sick of our people, defend our people in these courts, or go through this black power. Oh, well, brother, it'll come together. No, it won't come together unless we bring it together, unless we leave the old things and pick up the new things, because we can only carry but so much mentally. See? A lot of our people don't want to pick up, you know what I mean, and move forward. We don't want to do that. We rather sit around here and just wait on things to happen. We rather wait for circumstances. But like I said, we're not going to be afforded that opportunity any longer. We're not going to be afforded the opportunity of sitting around on our asses waiting for people to take care of us, waiting for a Section 8 to come out, or a new system to come out, or a new this to come out, or a new that to come out. And I don't even care if you Negroes got money, because those Negroes on Black Wall Street, they had money too. But the thing is, when y'all get money, y'all stop thinking. Y'all really stop thinking. If you want to see brain dead Negroes with no money, y'all get the worst when y'all get money. Y'all get really brain dead. Then it become all about Gucci and Louis and Fendi and $200 Gucci sneakers, $300 Jordan, whatever, $800 jeans, whatever madness you could think to spend money on. 5 cars, a house, with no land under it to grow anything. Going to the club, buying out the bar every night and getting drunk and throwing money at strippers. That's the mindset of the black man who would get reparations. That's the mindset of the black reparation people. That's the mindset of the black conscious people once you put some money in their pocket. You'll see them turn into niggas overnight. Right? Because that's what they always were. Right? Behind all the Ashés and the Hoteps. Right? Behind all that is the real them. Right? That's the real them behind all of that. Our people don't want to move forward. Our people don't want to tune forward and move forward and tune in. They rather tune in, tune out, and relieve themselves of the responsibility of being a greater people. We don't want that. The majority of our people, we ain't going to have no other choice. We will have no other choice in this day and time to be responsible people. We're going to have no other choice but to become that. So I'm going to go ahead and read these questions and play some music. We'll get out of here in a minute. So I'm going to read the questions as I always do. All right. So here we go. What is natural mental evolution? Natural mental evolution is the advancement of thought. The explosion, as I explained before, the mental explosion, the DNA explosion, right? The solar explosion, the knocking down of a wall that kept us housed in by way of our thinking, that housed us in by way of our thoughts. The explosion of that wall, right? The forward motion, or the speeding up of our intelligence, where we can receive thoughts at a greater pace, right, and think them out in a greater and a more of a linear procession forward, right, where things are more thought out. See, because in this society, our thoughts were going backwards. Our thoughts were going backwards in the society. Right? You hear the black man, the black woman, they down to grunts and groans. They could barely speak and express themselves or speak in clear sentences anymore. That means that their minds are being oxygen deprived. Their brains are being oxygen deprived, I mean to say. Right? Their thoughts are not fully complete, nor can they get them out. So that denotes a people who are starting to degenerate mentally, whereas we're supposed to be evolving naturally as a linear people, as a linear thinking people, as a solar intelligent, bright race of people. Some of our people will do it by way of this natural mental evolution. Some of our people will go backwards. What is a bright mentalian? A bright mentalian is one who houses solar intelligence, right? One who houses bright light frequency, which denotes power, right? That's what a bright person is, one who houses solar light or solar intelligence within themselves. People who are mentalians are those who are mental beings, pure receivers, pure people who house that light, who house that solar intelligence, that omni-mental force within them that sends messages on a higher dimension, on a higher state, versus those people who vibrate on a sub-mental level under the 3, 2, and 1. The third, second, and third dimension, which you are controlled by in the submental state by mankind, who controls what you see, what you hear, and what you speak. Right? The Mentalians think beyond that because they are pure mental receivers. And we are going from those black Africans to that, some of us. Are we black Africans by nature? No, we are not. That is some title that the white man made up and called us. We weren't the ones who called ourselves African. We didn't call ourselves black. So therefore, that is not a natural terminology that came from us. Because if it didn't come from us naturally, then we can't sit up here and accept it any longer. We got that came. The white man called us that. When he was taking colonies the Romans was taking colonies all over the world and naming places wherever they went. They called that place Africa and called the people that lived in it African. So they didn't have to deal with, this tribe here and this tribe there and this tribe there, and they called us black to denote that we were ignorant people. That's why they called us black. They were calling us ignorant people, calling Africa the dark continent, meaning the ignorant continent, the savage continent, and we still accepted those names. All right? Who is initiating this evolution in our people? The Amen race, the Omni race, the Omni mental beings, those who created this existence here, this world here, this solar system, this biological order and structure here. These Amen beings, who we refer to them as Amen or Omni beings, they are initiating this evolution and their descendants, who are amongst the black race. They are initiating this ascension, this evolution, this mental evolution that's taking place. They are raising up the bar or the mental frequency to put us back in alignment or in a alignmental form, in a linear state. Some of our people are going to get it. Some of our people are not. Some of our people are too far gone. Right? Some of them they're going to be black. They're going to black out. They're going to keep blacking out, and they're going to be black until they pass out of existence. Right? When did this start, and when will it stop? The mental evolution of our people started back with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Dr. York, and is continuing with me in the state of mental. When the Honorable Elijah Muhammad first said our people are mentally dead, he was the first one to diagnose the problem with our people as being a mental problem. When he said they were mentally dead, then Dr. York produced the book, The Mind, and now we set up a whole state or movement based on mental reception and higher intelligence and the advancement of our intelligence through the knowledge of intellect, or through this intelligence of intellect. So that is the evolution that took place, and it's not stopping. Whether Nuben ꜰRᴏᴍ is here or not, it's not stopping. And that's it. Join us Friday when we're going to be talking about the mental abduction of the black race. We're going to be talking about the mental abduction of the black race on Friday, right? Capturing your imagination, right? This is what we're going to be talking about. I am the intellectual Nuben ꜰRᴏᴍ. This has been State of Mental Radio. What are we ending off with? We need something short, right? Let me see. Something short. All right. Guru, lifesaver. Again, I'm the intellectual Nuben ꜰRᴏᴍ. This is State of Mental Radio. Good night.
It's the Republic of Mentellect, rising out the black race to the white race, out the black race to the white race. It's the Republic of Mentellect, black race to the white race. If it's hell, and then it's hell us. They tried everything just to spell us. Fed us religion, gave us fake gods. Through all of that, we beat the odds. Now we coming together under one flag. Colors red, gold, and blue. Superman, Superwoman, that's me and you. The infinite capabilities